Kristen.
I'm Trisha.
We're the Link Sisters.
And today we are going to be talking about all of our eating habit changes that we have made.
Yeah, healthy eating, diet, and the reason we changed it, pretty much.
Yep.
So, how about you begin?
Let's dive right in.
Let's dive in.
So we grew up eating the standard American diet, which is mostly packaged processed foods with fake chemical ingredients from industrialization and not a ton of real foods like fruits and vegetables. You're totally missing that growing up a lot. So we also didn't realize that there was anything wrong with it. We thought everyone around us was eating like that. We thought, why would we eat like this if it was wrong? Why would we be raised to eat like this? But really it was just a lack of education and knowledge.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't make the connection between eating like the standard American diet, which it's a real thing. Like, that diet is full of things that are hurting us, and it's slow and gradual, and a lot of people can't put their finger on why they have a certain illness or disease. And a lot of times it's not just your diet, but that's a huge part of it. And it's relatively new. Like, our grandparents didn't really grow up with that packaged food probably, and people in a lot of other countries don't eat that food, and it's just kind of new. And all of a sudden there's all these health problems that have become very common, and if you stop and look around, it's really hard to find somebody that doesn't have health problems, and that's an issue. Yeah, like, I don't know,
absolutely.
It's not freaking cool. And
yeah,
like, it's not good that we all know people with cancer and asthma and diabetes and autoimmune disease and like, I don't know, there's just so many diseases that have become so common.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the norm.
Depression, like, there's just so, and like Alzheimer's, like, it's just like very common nowadays. It breaks my heart because I feel like it could be way less common, and although diet and food is not going to cure these things, it could be a way to prevent them. And there's all different types of positive health changes that come with changing your diet. Like, it leads to more healthy things, and I think that I don't want to be preachy and act like I'm the best, because I literally have a autoimmune disease. From a personal standpoint, I think that a lot of the things I put in my body were like a huge part of the reason I got that. So I just want to like open up people's minds to the idea that we can be a little more preventative. Changing how we eat is probably the most important thing we've changed so far. So when I talk about like eating healthier, I thought I was eating healthier when I first learned like, oh, like what I've been eating the past, like 16, more like 18 years has been really unhealthy. Like, let me up my usual McDonald's to like lean cuisine from the freezer or something. Like, I didn't know what healthy meant. Like, I was really, really unhealthy. Like, I had no understanding. And unfortunately, like, it's very hard to get that understanding when you're not really taught it. So it took me a long time to like make the transition and actually learn that the biggest thing is choosing real food over fake food, and over things that are already in a perfect package and made for you and prepared for you and frozen and with preservatives in your cabinet. And it sucks because those are obviously the things that make cooking easier, and they're usually taste really good because they have like addictive ingredients like sugar and like salts and different things that make you want that flavor. But really it's all about choosing like the real ingredients. It's like a totally different thing if it's not packaged. Like, it's a whole different food basically. But to paint this picture, this is something I didn't have an idea of when I first started eating better, so I kind of want to share this because it really helped me when somebody explained it like this. So if somebody were offering you a snack and the options were a 90-calorie granola bar and a 250-calorie avocado, which one's better? The avocado is the better option, even though it's 250 calories, even though it's a fat, even though like it's just a real food. And the granola bar, I don't know what brand we could say, but many of them have so many fake ingredients and unhealthy oils that have chemicals added to them, high fructose corn syrup, things that are like fake sugars, and basically all of those fake ingredients, when you eat those, they go into your body and your body doesn't know how to break them down because it doesn't recognize them because they're not natural. So instead, they get stuck in your body in basically places you don't want them to be stuck that cause health issues, or they get stored as fat. They're just not beneficial. But then the avocado, your body, if it can digest properly, will absorb the nutrients and then get rid of the rest as waste. I eat avocado every single day, and I've never noticed weight gain. I've noticed weight loss, actually.
Yeah.
So that's just me. I'm not saying everybody should go eat an avocado every day. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just saying that the real food outweighs fake ingredients when you're trying to be healthy. It's just really, I didn't get that when I was younger, and that's like a concept somebody explained to me, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And now I get that, and it makes a lot more sense to me, so I feel like I wanted to share that, because don't you feel like that was just like
absolutely.
Totally, but it was like unheard of for us.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We were like, what? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about some of my health problems, because I've mentioned that I have weird health problems. They're not that weird, actually, but I kind of get like embarrassed by them, I guess, sometimes. But I grew up with acne. I've had it for probably over 9 years, maybe even 10 at this point. And so obviously that's reactions through my skin. And I always just covered it up with makeup and ignored it, and thought, like, I'm a teenager, like all teenagers get acne and then it goes away. And I thought that for years, and I kind of just like pushed it out of my mind. And then at some point in my late teenage years, I started to get these cystic breakouts on my body, and I again just would cover them and ignore them. But there was only so long that I could do that before I was just like so deeply uncomfortable, because basically, to describe what was happening, I was getting these like cystic breakouts that felt like bruises at first, became very painful, and lasted for like at least a month. And it was so uncomfortable, and I felt so embarrassed that I was like depressed from it, and also just like in actual physical pain, and also just very like uncomfortable with the fact that it was continuously happening. Like, it wasn't seeming to go away, and it was so random, and I didn't know why it was happening. I didn't know what to do about it. So long story short, I'll go into that another time. But long story short, I realized that I had an autoimmune disease, and this was one of the reactions to this autoimmune disease. And I was so upset, and doctors told me that like I would just have to deal with it for the rest of my life, and it was very depressing. And eventually I started to like do some research online, and this is before I realized that there were natural methods to try, that there was a different avenue besides just what my doctors were telling me. So I listened to my doctors, because I always will, and then I also followed my gut instinct, and then I also did my own research and paid attention to like all of those kind of forming the pieces. They were puzzle pieces into like what I realized was like my truth of my problem, because everybody has different experiences and different problems. And the biggest thing I learned was that there was no one answer for me. I had to try things out and trial and error different things. So that's what I did. I kind of read into things that people that were going through the same thing had said, and trying them out for myself. And a lot of them worked. A lot of these natural practices that people were trying, like different topical like remedies, and drinking different teas, like herbal teas, and taking like turmeric pills and things that like I didn't know what turmeric was. I didn't even know how to pronounce it at the time, but it worked, and I was like, okay. Maybe these people know what they're talking about. And then came this like idea of like, your food might be causing the problem. And I read that and I was like, no, not me, no. And then that was in my head. And then I like started to see the correlation, and then I wrote it down, started writing down everything I eat. Then I realized, okay, it's nightshade vegetables, which also didn't know what the hell that was either, but I figured it out. And basically now I live without any reactions from my autoimmune disease. Like, it's almost like I don't have it, but I do have to eat nightshade free. So if I were to slip up, I would have a reaction. Yep. But basically that's like a huge, I am so happy. I just said it to her. I was like, I'm so happy I don't have to deal with that crap anymore.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm trying to heal myself so that one day I can have nightshades again, or if I want to like have like some type of form of them, like even just a little bit, it won't turn into a reaction. But I don't know if that's possible. We'll see. I'm trying to just like continue down my journey of healing. So once I realized that I could like change my reactions based on what I was eating, I started reading books, articles, forums, blogs. I started like going all in on research. Like, that was what I did for fun. Like, I came home, like, do you remember that? Like,
yeah.
I literally loved it, loved learning about these things because they applied to me, and I was just like, I can fix myself. Oh my God. And I like was so invested in it, and I bought so many things and like tried them out and like put a lot of time, energy, money into a lot of things. Yeah. So why not share that? That's the biggest thing I've been wanting to share for so long. My experience with this autoimmune disease, my experience being nightshade free, and my experience with healing my acne, which is still a journey for me, but I've come so far and I'm so close. Like, it's crazy. I get so excited when I wake up. I'm like, it's better every day. Like, it's just awesome. So
I get so excited just talking to you about it.
So the reason I was able to like do this research like full out is because I was like seriously so deeply uncomfortable with my problems before that it was motivating to me to figure this all out. From there, I started to like question like the ingredients of everything, and I started to change all types of things. It was a transition. It was pretty slow. And like I said, I started out so deeply unhealthy and very deeply rooted in my habits where I didn't question things, and it took time for me to start to be like, wait a second. It still does. I still think of things and I'm like, I probably shouldn't do that. It's probably unhealthy. Like, and with all these little changes came like so much progress, and like I am so much happier looking in the mirror, waking up every day to myself. Like, it's life's so different and it's so much better. So while I was making all of these changes, anybody who lived with me, aka my family, really knew what was going on, and like my parents were very aware of every change I was making and would always like poke fun at me, but in reality they're the ones coming to me asking for advice all the time about natural health things. But yeah, Trisha picked up on everything, and she like slowly started to change things. But then now that she's moved home from college, like she's like so much more all in. And so you want to tell them about your journey?
Totally. So I'm still clearly going through it. I indulge in snacks sometimes, and I am just not perfect, but still striving to get better. So yeah, everything's been great. Kristen really taught me everything I know now.
And we don't want to like be like, oh my God, we're so healthy. Like, it's not even like that. It's because we're not. Like, we're like normal level of healthy that like a lot of people like don't realize is like doable.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. It's what should be normal.
I might be a little extreme with it, but we're just trying to get to a place, like, I don't expect people to be just like me, and I don't expect you to be just like me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like growing from extremely unhealthy to like this level where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm eating to help myself rather than eating to destroy myself, because it's kind of one or the other, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just wanted to point out, like, we're not perfect, we're still on this journey. And
and it's really crazy because I always looked at myself as a picky eater. I absolutely was. I didn't even try a strawberry until my senior year of high school and lunch. One of my girlfriends forced me to eat one. So yeah, I've just always been like really picky, and I never thought that I could be that person that makes a big kale salad at the beginning of the week and eats it for lunch every single day and loves it and thinks it's delicious. Like, that was not me a year ago.
And a few months ago.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Probably like summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we like figured out how to make these foods taste good, and honestly that kind of came with time as well. I think the more we ate them and like the more we know that we're fueling our bodies with something that's really good, the better you feel eating it.
Mm-hmm.
So so I got to this point now where I just love eating healthy, and I'm so excited about it, and I love learning about it, and still learning and still growing and still excited.
And like we learned how to cook, and once we learned how to cook, like we started cooking for ourselves, and then we learned like the flavors of things, and then once we learned the flavors of things, we started like making, like combining things that like weren't the plan. Like we went in the kitchen to make one thing, and we ended up making something a little bit different, and like turned into freaking chefs.
Yeah.
And we didn't know shit.
Yeah, seriously.
Before.
Especially her. Like, I like would literally look up how to make everything and like measure everything perfectly and stuff, and then she was like, oh, olive oil, I'm just gonna like dump some out, like that seems like the right amount, and then it always turns out good. So we really like, honestly, that taught me a lot about like,
but that's
loosening
what
up.
You can learn.
Exactly.
And we're gonna help you.
Exactly. It really is.
I want the
crazy.
whole world to learn to be chefs for themselves.
Yeah. It's like we make our own little recipes.
Yeah,
and it's really fun.
Down to share my recipes too.
Yeah.
They're freaking good.
Yeah.
For
and it's all based on like what we like. It's not like we're gonna put in something that we hate. Like something that like repulses us.
Yeah.
Like, she likes Brussels sprouts, I don't, so I never make them for myself. I make my salads with sweet potatoes and butternut squash and carrots.
Although I can get anybody to eat my Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, no, I will eat them occasionally, but I don't love them. So I'm not gonna go out of my way to eat them.
I'm gonna get her to eat them tonight.
But seriously, like, you get to decide what you're gonna make, and it's awesome. It's so individualized for what your body wants. This is like an
infomercial for you to start taking care of yourself and eating healthy.
Yeah, we believe in you.
No, like, I just want the whole world to realize that it's not that bad, and it's not
really
that hard.
not. Yeah, once you get over that little hump of like,
I'm saying the whole world, and I know there's gonna be like 20 people that watch this, but
we're ready to change the world through YouTube.
No, but really, that's like why we're starting this.
Yeah.
And
if we just help one person out there,
it's true.
It's worth it. Like, come on.
So, a big thing to say is that when, like, you're changing from eating, like, straight up the standard American diet, like what we were explaining when we were younger, to, like, a healthier diet, like, it's actually really good to go gradually. And instead of doing a flip overnight of being like, I'm eating Whole30 tomorrow, and I have never even eaten a carrot before, because, like, that was probably us. Yeah. But, like, a gradual change is going to be, first of all, easier for you, and second of all, so much less of a shock, and all in all, just like less hard on your body, because I know more real food is going to be easier for you to digest, and it's going to benefit you, but it can also be like a bit of a shock if you haven't been eating it too. Eating better gradually is a great idea, and just keeping in mind that, like, you're doing this for yourself, and it's not about getting the diet perfect. It's about paying attention to how that food or that drink makes you feel, and deciding, is this for me? Is this helping me? And not basing it on anybody else. Like, no comparisons and no judgments, because, like, that's the only reason that I have improved so much, because I've not been trying to be like one other person, because it's just not going to help me. The other thing I wanted to say is that your body, the human body, already insanely cool thing. Like, you have eyebrows that you can, like, make expressions with, and, like, you literally can, like, walk and, like, reach things and, like, do all these crazy things. It's already, just wrap your mind around how crazy the human body is. You can literally heal so well. There's all these stories about kids and people that were able to, like, reverse things and heal and, like, grow back an arm, or, like, there's a kid that did that. What I'm trying to say is, if you give your body the right nutrients and the right environment and the right mindset, the beliefs about healing, you can heal so much. It's incredible. So, like, it's all about just taking the time to learn it and then committing. Just take care of yourself, and it's so worth it. Oh my god, I wish I could let you know how much it has helped me.
Yeah.
I guess I am letting you know.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah. So, I hope you liked our YouTube video, and basically we have our Instagram, which will have more information, tips, stuff like that, like other things. And our Instagram is @TheLinkSisters, and our YouTube is The Link Sisters, and our website is thelinkSisters.com. So just follow along and share, and we're not going anywhere.
Yep.
We're going to keep going. So let us know if you want us to, like, talk about anything, or any, like, have any suggestions.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you.